disclaimer. I'm so sorry, I'm trying to get this balance. I've been looking at it and I'm just like, it looks a bit odd. But it doesn't matter, does it? Because I'm here, you're listening, and that's all that matters right now. So I'm just gonna start with a couple of things. This is my collaboration between Illuminated Disclaimer and Random Disclaimer, which is my podcast. If you ever do want to listen to my podcast, there's about 200 episodes out there. And there's one every week. And this has been going on since 2018. So if you wanna look for it, just look for Random Disclaimer. The disclaimer has 2 eyes, and you can find it on places like Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast. The list goes on. So today I just want to give you more of an update with Random Disclaimer. It's kind of things that I found, which were beneficial for me from week to week, and I'm just going to give you more of an update of how my life is going. So currently I'm supposed to be working, and I am working as a health and wellbeing trainer. And I was speaking to people today about emotions, feelings, and moods, and a lot of us don't really know the difference. We usually interchange them, don't we? Emotions, feelings, moods. You could use one to describe the other two, right? There's subtle differences though. So with emotions is the things that we instinctively pick up on. Now, let's just say, for example, we're walking down the street and someone bumps into us. That is an emotion. So something that we just pick up on before we put energy and thought into it. So someone bump into us, and although we feel like the pain there, we kind of feel like something, like we are going to react. Yeah. Now, if we react accordingly, that means we are based on our emotions more. Feelings is us trying to feel what the emotion is. Sometimes you feel the bubbling, that's the emotion. Emotions are instantaneous, but feelings are kind of like, okay, this person's bumped into us. How do we feel? How are we going to react? How are we going to respond? So that's us actually putting logic into these things. Sometimes you might see something falling and you might just catch it. That is emotional data in its finest. Feelings is, oh no, something's falling, let me grab it. That is more of feelings, and that is how we usually describe and differentiate between the two. Final one is mood. Now, with mood is how we feel for the duration of the day. So if someone bumps into us, the emotions make us feel, we feel something, yeah? If we are addicted to anger, then instinctively, anger. If we are someone who doesn't really like confrontation, then we do something non-confrontational. But it's only when we put thoughts into it and kind of assess the whole situation and act accordingly. Mood is what we usually have, which is the lasting mood out of everything else. So I just basically said mood defines mood, but in this case, mood is what we feel for the foreseeable future. This one could go for hours, even days and weeks. And I guess a good example is if someone bumps into us, we feel this energy, we kind of say, what are you doing? But the mood is more along the lines of us saying, okay, well, for the rest of the day, I'm gonna watch how I step. I'm still a bit angry, but I'm angry because I am on edge just in case someone bumps into me in the future. So there are subtle differences, and there's a lot of similarities between the three, but generally when I speak to my participants, that's why I usually tell them the differences between the three of them. So very important stuff, but it just makes you think that from an evolutionary point of view, our ancestors, we used to be in situations where you were always ready to go out and drop a hat, whether there was diseases, whether there was war, whether there was someone trying to conquer your area or threaten you, whether it was trying to get food. Emotions, feelings, and moods were things that we needed to, deal with on an everyday basis. We never really could sleep, and some of us, we probably wake up instantly. If we hear a little bit of a noise, like someone drops a piece of paper on the floor, we're up. And that is just raw instinctual data driving us. Now, we live in a world where it's now more, I guess, psychological, right? So if we perceive to see someone who we think is better than us, then, our emotions might give the same kind of triggers inside as if we're about to be attacked by this person, you know? If we have a partner, for example, and you see someone who you think looks better than you, stronger than you, better than you, initially you might feel, well, you might have the emotional data of threats, and then your feelings will then say to you, actually, I think this is jealousy. And then now your mood is just essentially like, for the whole day, I'm just going to be on edge. I'm going to be agitated, anxious, sweaty, because if this guy comes and speaks to her, that's going to be a threat, right? So it's very good just to observe while you are going through these things. You know, I feel jealous because X and Y, and the trigger was Z. And it gives us more of self-awareness and also self-regulation too when it comes to how we're truly feeling within. So I'm saying all these things because I truly feel that we have the keys to our own success. I feel that we have so much power and we can't even acknowledge it sometimes. And it's good to always keep a check on us because these things are really closely linked to emotional intelligence. I would say about 40% of what I've just said now links very closely to emotional intelligence, in terms that when you get to a stage in your life where you want to talk to more people, you want to have empathy, you need to understand you need to understand your emotions, feelings and moods. Therefore, you can understand other people's emotions, feelings and moods. And as a result, if people are showing you anger, you start to realize that they're not really angry at you. They're angry because something inside of them is instructing them that there is a perceived threat around them. Now, it might be you, it might be something that they're thinking about 3 weeks ago, it might have been a text message, but they are going through something which is a perceived threat. They have picked it up and they have used the feelings to say this is anger. And now their mood is in an angry mood, so anything you say to them makes them much more susceptible to either snap or be sensitive. A lot of information, I know. My workshops are about 3 hours in length, and I'm trying to condense it into about 10 minutes. So that was more or less the crux of what I was speaking about. I'll probably will share more of the things that I will be talking about in the future. But yeah, that was essentially what we spoke about. And it's good because you speak to people and they start to realize, oh wow, actually, I can see how I was angry at this person. I can see that it wasn't their fault, but the actual reason was this, what happened 3 weeks ago. And even in a day where there's a cost of living crisis, a lot of people financially are not where they want to be. And this could be the preliminary trigger of a lot of the feelings in particular that we feel on a daily basis. Apart from that, I realized I need to talk more about myself. Like, I just say, oh, I'm Sydney. Let me just talk about things that I usually talk about, illuminated disclaimer. And random disclaimer wasn't really about that. Random disclaimer was more about me just talking about how I'm doing and finding coping mechanisms on a day-to-day basis. So now I'm going to start talking more about my week in these episodes. My week has been good. I've been working from home. I've got work later on. I teach maths, so I'm going to go to the council building, teach maths for a couple of hours. Exam seasons are coming up, which is very daunting, and fingers crossed we have some success. I'm honestly hoping, yeah, they're my lovelies, you know. I really invest myself in my learners, and I hope, honestly, that they do very well. I am going to New York to see family because my grandmother is not too well at the moment. And fun fact about me, most of my family live in New York, to be honest with you. I've got 2 grandparents, I've got 2 aunties on my mum's side, and I've got 1 auntie on my dad's side, I've got 1 uncle on my dad's side, and I've got 2 cousins on my dad's side. And that is in Brooklyn and in Jamaica, Queens. So I'm going to be going there at the end of the week. So I'm kind of thinking to myself that I might just do an episode of Illuminated Disclaimer where I am in New York and just kind of promote it as, you know, tourism, you know. Random Disclaimer, when I first started, the goal was just to be me as the brand, just follow me in everyday life, and Illuminated Disclaimer is me talking about certain topics about health, wealth, spirituality and just finding inner peace. So I want to be more, I want to be more observant of what I'm doing in everyday life. So yeah, that's that. Also, I'm having a really strange yet exciting time. I feel like I'm coming out of my shell. Something is trying to release itself out of me. I don't know what it is, and it's scary yet exciting. So I feel like the next chapter is coming for me to develop my business further. That is finding maybe another job which I can do, which is freelance. But I feel like the step now is to start leaving London. I want to eventually leave London, just be in the outskirts of London, and then eventually probably leave the UK altogether. We'll see, but I'm not there yet. I still got about another 15 years before I take those steps, but I'm being leaned towards going to more healing events. I'm leaning towards leaving London as often as I can, and I want a job where I could do more public speaking, and I travel across the UK as well. I feel like that would be a dream for me. So getting that alignment is coming. It's coming. So yeah, very grateful. Very grateful. But yeah, how are you doing? If you are watching this, then share how you're doing. Share any questions you may have, or yeah, share some facts that you probably have learned. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, until the next one, I will see you again next week. But please remember, I do a shorts video every day. I also do an episode of Soulful Synergy Hub every Wednesday, an episode of Illuminated Disclaimer every Saturday, and I try to do a random disclaimer every week as well. But it's ad hoc, so it might be a week, might be every 2 weeks. But at the absolute minimum, you're getting 9 episodes from me a week. So yeah, share to your friends. Please subscribe, please like, please share around. And if you want to make a collaboration with me, please get in contact with me on that as well. I want to do more episodes and be more social and be more out there. So if you want to do an episode, we can meet up, organize something, or we could do something online. Like I could do a YouTube live and add you as a collaborator, and we just chop it up. Chop it up. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep on finding ways to illuminate your path. Take care now.